Well, this is the first time I've driven anywhere since we did the drive to Sainsbury's about a week or so ago. Apart from moving the cars up and down the drive to change their position to work on them, I've got to do a tiny bit of top-up shopping because we've got a delivery coming next week. And I've got to deliver a parcel. Someone's got a hat coming to them. So as I was saying, as I was reversing out the drive, I haven't really driven anywhere since you saw the going down to Sainsbury's a little while ago in this car. Apart from just shuffling this car and the Mercedes up and down the drive once or twice, just to move them around for doing jobs for the videos. I'll tell a lie, no, I did do an induction shift at a supermarket, but I was really not at all happy with like they provided plenty of PPE, but people didn't seem to be using it that much, and I wasn't really happy with that kind of environment to work in. So I was prepared to go and do the work, but not prepared to become infected, having sort of taken a month and a half off my life to avoid being infected for like an £8 an hour job. So that was my one other adventure out into the real world. So it's quite fun to be out in a car and driving. I just need to grab a few little essentials, bread, milk, that kind of stuff, and I need to drop off a parcel because a lucky person has purchased a hat today, and this is a good reason to go to a delivery drop-off place. It's interesting driving around because the roads look a lot busier today than last time I drove. Maybe it's because it's the Saturday afternoon rather than like an evening time when people are more at home. And
continue on to 829.
oh, don't slow down this much. This is a steep hill, not a fast car. Trying to match my speed to the oncoming traffic behind me, which is doing sort of 60 plus, trying to struggle up past 50. This is not a rapid car. Quite often, this particular hill, when you drive up it, you can wind up queuing along this entire left-hand lane if it's peak time. It's weird just having nothing else around it. Okay, we're going to have some exciting roundabout action in a second. And everything's going to go falling onto the floor. I don't often come up this way, the way I'm about to go in a second. This is the M2 and the A229. I often go along these roads, but I don't often go the way we're going to go to Walderslade because there's a drop-off point for a parcel there, and that's near where a supermarket is as well. A legitimate essential use drive. Whoops, everything falling on the floor. After the last video when I drove this car, there were loads of comments about the sound of the engine, the fact it sounded rattly, was it a diesel, did I need to do the tappets, that kind of stuff. And the thing is, it's got no sound deadening in, there's no carpet at all, so the whole car just kind of sounds kind of tinny and echoey. The exhaust pipe kind of runs under the floor well on the left-hand side, and you can really hear that kind of just tinkling sound from the exhaust all the time, so that makes it sound a lot worse than it actually is. I'm kind of disappointed we've hit nothing but red lights here, because this is we've been quite fun to slalom through there in this ridiculous thing. Oop, oh, there's my hand sanitizer gone under the seat. I think we're going to make a right turn here.
Right 2 lanes to turn right.
Yep, right turn right, that makes sense. That's logical.
Turn right.
This isn't a bit of the county I know particularly well. I'm not exactly sure where I'm going, but I do know there's a supermarket just over there off that roundabout, so on the way back I can...
Into the roundabout, take the second exit onto State Roads.
At the on the way back I can call into the supermarket. I've been told I need, whatever else I buy, I need to get baby bells apparently. Don't indicate then. think I need to change a fan belt on this thing.
In 1.4 miles, at the roundabout, take the second exit onto Volvo Lane.
I keep being interrupted by the sat nav on my phone. It's on the passenger seat. But I think I need to change the fan belt and power steering belt, because quite often as I pull away and the revs rise sharply, you get a little chirping sound from the front. And also if I put the steering on full lock, I have a little chirpy sound too. God, it's really warm all of a sudden. The weather's just been so up and down this week. You can't really plan anything. You start off in the morning thinking it's going to be a sunny day. By the time you're out on the drive, it's raining. You expect it's going to be raining, so you plan to do something indoors and the sun comes out. It's very confusing. Do you know what? The more I use this car, the smoother and nicer it seems to be getting. Oh, and speaking of making it nicer, a massive roll of headlining material turn up today, so I can get on with that one very soon. It's a messy job. I'm going to try and do it myself on my own. I'm going to try and do it in situ up here, because people have said, people who know what I'm talking about, have said, you know, take the rear seat squab out and try and bend this, but I know it's going to break. It's never going to look quite as nice. So I'm going to have a go at doing it in place, which I think can be done. I know someone else has told me they've done it on a Range Rover or a Land Rover, and it went well. So
Take the second exit onto Volvo Lane.
second exit, okay. This is very rural all of a sudden.
In 3/4 of a mile,
I thought I was driving to a town.
take the second exit onto Volvo Lane.
I think at this point, I think we're kind of around the back of Rochester Airport, but in a very roundabout sort of way. I am discovering new places. Really, I am. Very exciting. I was working on this car yesterday and I did notice that the left-hand speaker in the front door seems to have given up the ghost, or it's a bit crackly sometimes, so I think maybe the wiring...
Take the second exit onto Volvo Lane.
Thank you, Satnav. I think maybe the wiring into that door, or possibly the speaker head unit, or possibly the head unit itself might be at fault. I don't want to change this head unit because it's the original thing for the car.
In 1/4 of a mile, the destination is on your left. ME1.
This thing is hilarious over speed bumps. I'm just waiting till we get over this next one in a second. It's just not... wallowy isn't even the word. It just floats and bounces and almost takes off. Whee!
8J.
Right, so I was looking for a Texaco, but let's see if we can find the lockers. No, no sign of lockers. Oh, here we go. Right, let's go post this. Send a parcel. Scan. Please scan. It's scanned, hurrah. Now what? Oh, the locker open. This is exciting, opened on its own, magic. Done. That was easy. Oh, that one, mini for sale. 3,700 for a 1.6 Cooper S. Oh, I don't know, a bit strong money. 6-speed manual, 83,000 miles, got full leather, got moo, got breeze, got... Maybe not today. Okay, now to get needlessly excited, look at that lovely 205 GTI. Oops. Oh, that was nice. What a lovely car. It's got a 2.1 litre in it. So it was a 1.9. It's got a 2.1 in it now. That's a very cool car. that's the thing, isn't it? If you've got a cool car, an interesting car, Rover 75 Estate, a little bit battered, but a nice colour for it though. If you've got an interesting car, one drive for the week, you take the interesting car out, don't you? I'm surprised how little of interest I saw on the drive up here. Whee! Floating over the speed bumps. The speed bumps are no deterrent to an old Volvo, are they? No wonder the Swedish police use them. It does feel like people want this whole lockdown to be over now. I don't know what the science says. I'm guessing they must be not safe enough to do it yet. But there's so many people out and about now. Maybe it's just because it's Saturday. I don't know. I've not been out on a Saturday before. God, new houses. There's new houses everywhere. I've probably moaned about this before in passing, but in our village, we've got about 1,000 houses in our village, and developers have bought all the farmland around it, and they want to put in, I think it's 1,500 houses around our 1,000 house village. It's just ridiculous. It's not in keeping at all. It's just going to destroy the area. And they've already put in lots of other stuff around here. They've put in so much other stuff around here already. It's already really spoilt the place and put so much traffic on the roads. Ford KA. What does everyone think of a Ford KA? Do we think they're hilarious and lovely and fun and a future classic, or do we think they should have rotted away and been crushed into bean cans and refrigerators years ago? Personally, I quite like them. I think they were quite a clever, innovative bit of design. It was like a true Mini in the original spirit for the 21st century. And that it packaged a lot of space in a tiny body shell and made it very affordable. And the design is very much of its era as well. If you're interested in such boring minutiae, the hand sanitizer I used is by Diamond Bright, which is interesting because they're a car polish company. And since this whole situation has kicked off, they've converted their factory, which is up in, I think it's in Loughborough, or somewhere up in England anyway, in the northern half of England, or maybe the Midlands you might call it if you're from very far north, into not making car polish and motorhome polish and cleaning products, but into making hand sanitizer and car interior sanitizer. So that's quite a clever idea. I think if I go straight on here, I'll wind up back at Asda, which is the plan. Now, apparently, it was only £1 a litre the other day at Asda, so if it is still, that would be very handy. So one thing that's made a massive difference to the running of this car and the way it handles and drives is changing the tyres and the brake discs, because now all of a sudden it doesn't judder at any speed, it doesn't track off to the side at all. It's really, really transformed it. I'm half a mind to lower it ever so slightly, just because it does ride very high and it does wallow an awful lot. And it is hilarious, but it would be probably safer and more fun if it wasn't quite such a wallowing beast. I want to go right here. Yeah, the owner before me nicknamed this thing Sherman, like the tank, but I'm more inclined to nickname it Moby, like the whale. Sad reminder. Oh God, Holiday Inn completely boarded up. But yeah, gates across the car park. I've never seen that on a hotel before. On the Holiday Inn deserted. Very 28 days later. Mind you, Curry's PC World is still open. Oh, because there's a pet shop. So Curry's PC World isn't open, but the car park's still got cars in it because there's a pet shop and there are people queuing to get into pets at home. I don't know if Homebase is open as well. The lights are on in Homebase. I didn't know those other places were open. Wow. Look at this Home Bargains place. That used to be a Toys R Us. And in the last few months, that's completely disappeared. Reawakened as an Aldi and a God knows what else, some kind of drive-through place. Down that road there used to be a really good, nice little independent, a proper little old-fashioned motor factors. They were great. You go in there, tell them what kind of car it was and what you needed, and they had everything on the shelf where they'd get it for you, and they knew what they were talking about. Sadly, that shut down a couple of years ago. Someone said in one of the comments a while ago, why am I mail ordering stuff from GSF? Well, apart from the fact it's cheap, it's because there aren't any independent motor factors left around here, which is a real shame. I actually quite like going to those places. I think we've got a JR's, which is like a local sort of southeastern chain, but they're only open to the trade at the moment. God, there's an Audi 80 convertible looking very tired and sorry for itself on the drive back there. .7. I might grab a couple of gallons of that. That's mega cheap. Let's have a quick look at this. Now, just briefly, because after the last video I took this car out and I pulled up on the wrong side of the pump and looked out the door, a lot of people said, oh, why don't you look at the fuel gauge because the nozzle's printed on the right or there's an arrow or something. Well, I just did that. There's no arrow, but the nozzle is printed on the right of the pump, so I pulled up on that side, and it doesn't work like that on this car. The filler is on the left-hand side and the picture is on the right. Right, let's do other stuff now. My God, look at that queue! So I'm not going to stand in that queue. That's ridiculous. We can that queue is just stupid. Oh my God, forget the queue looking stupid. Look at that PT Cruiser. Oh my God. Did you get that? Did you actually see that thing? Yeah, no, I'm not going to stand there. That's like, I don't know how long it's going to take. I'll just go to the local corner shop who is really helpful, quite cheap, and doesn't have a queue around the corner. Brenda, we've seen two interesting cars, or 2.5. Rover 75, looking a bit down on its luck. That lovely 205 GTI, and the interesting PT Cruiser. I'm surprised how little is actually out here looking exciting and interesting. 70 miles an hour, and this is a de-restricted dual carriageway, so that's fine. This thing just wafts along, it's lovely. So this big street party thing on Friday, that's for VE Day, isn't it? Are all you guys going to do that? Apparently our road is going to be doing it in the afternoon, getting trestle tables out and everyone having a glass of wine and a cake in their front garden. That'd be slightly awkward, I think, when everyone comes out and we're raising a toast to the NHS and stuff, and everyone says, so who's this, that big old Volvo that's parked in the middle of the road that's been here all for the last 5 weeks? And I'll have to go sheepishly quiet and pretend that I don't know what they're talking about. Why have you got the same stickers on it as your cars have? I don't know. It's a mystery to me as well. Right, I'm going to sign off, leave you guys to your day. Hopefully you're all well and coping with incarceration still, and I've got lots more videos coming in the next few days, so stay tuned. And if you want to watch some photography stuff, head over to Clickbait, where I will be doing more videos in the coming weeks and days, because I need to get on with that one. So take care everyone, I'll see you soon, look after yourselves. Just got back. took my hat off, and that's why I need to get this ceiling done quite soon. In fact, next on the list.